She got a little angry with him and told him that she needed to see me. Soon after I went and saw her, she looked at the size of me and went, "Don't worry, I'll fix it." There were many more after this, one being, and this is for Ted, the Mikado, but I won't say any more about that. Brett was also in Godspell. Not only did Brett have an amazing voice, but he had the ability to impersonate different celebrities. He could sing anything from Phantom of the Opera to Elvis, rock and roll, and even Amazing Grace, which you will hear. But we need some funny stuff. So when Brett was around 20, he had a motorbike accident. It wasn't his fault. The car pulled out from a giveaway sign and didn't stop. So we got the call from the hospital. And so his dad and I left work, went to the emergency department. Brett was there, high as a kite on the medication they'd given him. He had broken and a compound fracture of the right hand ring finger and a broken foot, left foot. While we were standing in the emergency room with Brett, he motioned to me like this. So I went over and he said, "They cut off my favourite shoes." And I said, "That's okay, we'll get you a new pair of shoes." I moved back away because they were coming in to check on him all the time, and he motioned to me again. And as I went over, he takes the gauze off the finger and the bone sticking out through the skin, and he goes, "Look." I said, "That's great, Brett." So I moved back away and he motions to me again, and I go over, and with eyes opened as big as saucers and a straight face, he said, "Ronald McDonald saved me." But he didn't have his big yellow shoes on. And I went back and I just couldn't contain. I just broke into laughter. The nurse came in and wanted to know what was going on because she thought I was crying. And so I told her. She left the room in stitches laughing. Then she stuck her head back in the window in the room and she said that it was SIDS Day. Now SIDS is for the fundraising we have in Australia, which is for sudden infant death syndrome. And they sell red noses and people wear red noses. So the two ambulance drivers and the paramedics always wear their red nose on Red Nose Day. So obviously Brett thought, being high as a kite on the drugs that they had him on, that Ronald McDonald had saved him. As he was recovering from the accident, he was called to audition for Brentleys Theatre Restaurant, which both him and Cheryl had worked for in Australia. He was still in plaster with this wire contraption on his hand holding his finger back, and he auditioned like that. He got the part, got the job. There are so many stories of Brett, funny stories. Story of him skating down the hospital corridor on an IV trolley with nurses chasing after him at 14 years old. Stories of my mother asking him to lower the gas under the pot she had on the stove. But what she said was, "Brett, will you lower the pot?" 15 minutes later, she looked and the pot was on the floor. It was hard living with him, I can tell you. There are many stories, but there are many more things and people that you need to hear from. I want you all to know that Brett is singing in the Heavenly Choir. He's with his dad and his brother. He's got no more pain. And he would want us to be happy, not sad, happy for him. No tears, No sadness, just fun memories. Just remember, death is the last chapter of time and the first chapter of eternity. Now I want to introduce the clip from Ted Pangilinan, Brett's best mate in Australia. Thank you all.
Hey Brett, my main man, my friend, my brother from another mother. I was telling my kids about you and our relationship and how I got this wonderful friend that's been my friend forever, how so connected we are, and they thought I was being really dramatic about it all until they met you. I remember the first time I met you when you came to Salisbury High, and we just instantly clicked as friends then, did musicals together within the high school and outside of the high school. Remember the Mikado? What a crazy, crazy time it was doing that stuff for that musical theater company. Best memory we had in high school. It was a P night for the school dance. We don't want to be just a regular P, so we decided this poetic title called The Prancing Princess of Passion. We put on this big ballerina shirt and tights, and off we went. And we knew how ridiculous we looked at each other, and we laughed, just couldn't stop laughing. And we were driving along, I remember, in the middle of Logan City, and you said to me, I hope no one stops us or sees us. And sure enough, we get to Argonaut, right in the center of Logan Central, and my car stops. It's as if someone was having a good laugh at our expense. All the memories we had, Brett, are just good memories. We've laughed together, we've done some crazy stuff. But one thing I know, Brett, is that the great memories, the sweet memories of life together, as friends, something that I'll always cherish. You're my man and my best friend. And remember we talked about the other day, what did Spock say to Kirk? You will always be my best friend. And I love you, man, and I'm believing for great things. Even through these really difficult moments where there are it's so difficult to have words. And all we can say is we are with you and we love you, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now I would like to welcome to the stage Reverend Brad Strellau to recite Psalm 23.
It's my honor to be able to offer these words of comfort from the ancient Hebrew poem of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And you prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
It's a story sad but true. About a girl that I once knew. She took my love and ran it around with every single guy in town. Hip, hip, oh, 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 oh. I should have known it from the very start. This girl would leave me with a broken heart. Listen, people, I'm telling you, I keep away from a runaround Sue.
I learned my lessons well from the start. I failed to touch my hand and stuff on my brain. If you don't want to cry like I do, you'll keep away from a run around too. Hey, hey, whoa, 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 wah, 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 wah. Rock and roll.
Lee and I had a lot of chance to talk to Brett over the last few months, and I can tell you with 100% certainty, he still only had 2 pairs of underwear, without question. I'm Jerry Wheaton. I'm his brother-in-law. My sister gave me 2 criteria today when she asked me to say some words. The one was to be brief. The second criteria was to be lighthearted. These are 2 concepts that are not exactly in my wheelhouse. My first interaction with Brett in Australia, however many decades ago, was at their wedding. And he picked me up at the airport in a bright red convertible Mustang. We stopped at the mall because, of course, he had forgotten something. I, of course, was hungry after being on a long flight. So we saw a sandwich bar in the middle of the mall, and we thought we'd go right on over and sit next to the stereotypical gorgeous Australian blondes that were sitting there and have a sandwich. Of course, it wasn't long before Brett started talking about his role at Brentley's a few nights later, where he would be dressing up like Diana Ross in a red sequin dress. And of course, as he's getting more animated and excited about telling this story that was going to happen the following evening, the young ladies to our left started staring over. And I was trying to motion to Brett, hey, this is my first time in Australia, keep it down a little bit, but no. He left the Diana Ross story and got up and got into his Elvis impersonation. He wasn't wearing that suit, but he sure was the epitome of it. As these girls got up and walked away with nary a word, and I didn't slap him silly and get up and walk away myself, I knew we were going to be okay. I'm going a different direction today. I don't know how you did it. It's going to take me some time. There's a quote in a famous movie, a beautiful movie, called Gladiator, Marcus Aurelius. And in that film, Marcus Aurelius says, "Death smiles on us all. All a man can do is smile back." Brett didn't smile back. He wanted to be here. He fought. And it's in that spirit that I talk to you about a few things that he would like me to communicate. First of all, my sister. She's so grateful to you. Connor Taylor, you as well. And Lynn, he was waiting for you. A few weeks before he passed, my son Nicholas and Connor visited me at work. And they said, Jared, Brett wants to go fishing. So I went over to the house And we made the decision that as soon as I got back from my trip from the island, that following Sunday we would go fishing. So we prepped, we researched. He was going to catch fish. We had fly rods, we had flies, we had spinning rods, we had lures, we had worms, we had power bait, we had everything. And on Sunday morning, the following week, I'm in the shower at 4 a.m., getting ready to go. We were going to pick him up at 5:30. The phone rang. It was my sister telling me that Brett would not be going. It took me a few days in my mind to get over the fact that I was upset that we didn't go fishing. And the thing I had to get over was the fact that I wasn't upset that we didn't go fishing. I was upset that my brother-in-law loved fishing and I had no idea about that fact. That's what I was upset about. And the hundreds of times I could have had him with me, but I didn't. And so it's in that spirit that I say there are 4 things that Brett would like all of us to do as we move forward. And ironically, they all start with R, and it has nothing to do with reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's reflect. Reflect on the relationships and the people and the experiences and the places that you have been. Re-examine your priorities and where can you fit those reflections into your priorities of the day. Reconnect. Reconnect with those people that have provided you the memories that you share with family and friends today. And of course, rekindle, whether it be your wife, your husband, your best friend, your girlfriend, your sister, your brother. Rekindle those relationships because those are the most valuable and those are the things that fuel us as human beings. And I can tell you without reservation and without prejudice that Brett fought every moment. I didn't make it for his last breath, but I am certain his last breath said, I'm getting through this. I'm 100% certain of it. And that was an inspiration to me. So I know I went a different direction, but I hope you take Brett's feelings and inspiration with you today and do those things. Because that's the thing that, after Marcus Aurelius says, that smiles upon us all. All a man can do is smile back. If you do those things, you'll be able to smile back. All right? Thank you.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine no possession. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. a brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as
Well, hello. How's everybody doing?
Hey, Connor.
Yeah. I'm Connor McMillan. I'm Brett's son, for anybody who doesn't know. Now, I'm gonna try to keep this under 5 minutes because, as you know, as most of you know, Dad was a lot of things. He was funny, talented, great friend to everybody, and one hell of a father to me and my sister. What I want to talk about is like a few nights that I was with him, while all this was going on. It was when I went over to his place one night after work, and I made some dinner for him, for him and I. And I have to admit, I made some really good steaks that night. It was awesome. But anyways, I asked my dad a really hard question that I believe that was kind of really hit him hard. I asked him, if you're able to go back in time or go back through your life and change anything, would you do it? And if you don't want to, would you just keep it the same? And what he said was the most amazing thing I've heard in a very long time, especially coming from him throughout the 2 years that he's been going through this. And what my dad said was to me, I don't want to change anything. I don't want to change anything. I love every aspect of my life. I had 2 amazing children, Taylor. I fell in love with your mom. I can't be more proud of all 3 of you. When Dad said that, I looked back at my life and I thought about all the mistakes I made, the bad relationships, the bad friendships that I've been through, and I said to him, even though all the really crappy things I've done in the past and in possibly the future, and I said, yes, absolutely. You may piss me and Mom off, but yes. We both laughed at that because it was so true. Dad was a lot of things. Dad to me was the one person that I could always open up to about guy things. Talk about guy stuff, like how he got to talk to women and, how he used to pick up girls when he was a kid, or at least tried to. But most of the time, he was a jokester. He was a wannabe jokester, with the whole family and with his friends. There was one moment in time when me, my sister, and my dad were in Australia for a friend's wedding. And me and my dad and my cousin, Megan, we were in my nana's living room. And Megan was, throwing food up in the air for him, catching his mouth, But he was boasting, saying like, oh, he's the best, best at catching his food in the mouth because nobody can beat him at that. And after every single fail, over 15 minutes later, he got once in his mouth. And this is what he said: that will be that he will be forever the best person to catch food in his mouth. And if anybody dares challenge him, he will beat them. So, yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg of Dad, right? But I have so many stories about me and my dad together, like going to several museums, just him being goofy. And if you know anything about Brett McMillan, he, in any way, shape, or form, he was the one who had the stories to go to. If you want to know a story about him, or if you want to know anything about anything in his life, he was there to tell, right? Anything in his life, like in Canada or in Australia, right? Like a time about Frog, if anybody knows about that. But that's a story for another time. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Dan Roach to the podium.
It was the best, oh sorry, wrong speech. Hi everyone. Thanks. My name's Dan. I'm proud to say that Bette McMillan was a friend of mine. If I had any body hair at all, I'd be standing on end right now, but goosebumps will suffice. So Brett and I first met at Costco. That was a funny day. Anyway, he worked the 4 a.m. shift generally, so him and I would usually just pass as I was sauntering in around noon. But we quickly became aware of one another, and we both had unique musical talents. Him as a golden voice singer, and me as a passable guitar player, keyboard player, jack of all trades, master of none. And of course, as I was coming in to start at noon, he was leaving for his second job, which was of course right here at the SCC. Where we spent many a night and many a day performing on this stage and rehearsing. We had a lot of fun here. So this is hallowed ground for Brett and I too. As far as Costco, he quickly proved himself as an integral part of the AMERGE team, taking on first aid duties, driving forklift, and most importantly, assuming ownership of the dairy daily orders to ensure that Costco members got their supply of 0.5% non-fat yak milk on any given Tuesday in sufficient quantities. That was Brett's pride and joy. Besides, of course, Taylor and Paul, who we both love very much. I'll tell you about our first gig. It was actually at the entrance to the Richmond Costco. Costco does annual fundraising every May for the Children's Miracle Network, and employees were asked to come up with ideas to raise money. I had just got a new little amplifier that played back musical files, so I worked up a little karaoke routine playing show tunes and tunes that were appropriate for Costco members. So no Slayer or Metallica. As much as I wanted to rock out, I figured, okay, we gotta play to the audience, right? So everything was cool. I guess Brett heard the noise and came up one Friday and asked if he could join in. And I said, sure, Brett. So the next day, on Saturday, Brett came in. He brought a full PA, lights, microphones, mixers, and we had a very tiny footprint to set up at the Costco. So we ended up setting up half the PA. We didn't need the lights because it was daytime, obviously. But I thought, this guy is serious. So we started to play, and I didn't know what he was going to pull out as far as repertoire goes. We started off with some Elvis, and I seemed to know most of the songs in his repertoire, and the ones that I didn't, I managed to fake my way through. Damn you, bare naked ladies. The band, I meant the band. We were ultra happy to see that the members also seemed to really enjoy this. In fact, I recall one lady in particular passing by us, stopping for a minute, looking, giving us that nod of approval, and dropping a $100 bill into our little tin that we'd used to collect money for the kids. We ended up raising over $4,000 that little period, and we were both very proud of ourselves, and it started a long, fruitful musical association with Brett and myself. Actually, one of my favorite memories from that is our regional warehouse manager showed up one day, and he was aghast to see in front of his flagship store two nice-looking guys, obviously, but we're making a commotion, and it's like, this is not Costco. So he's observing, he's watching little kids dancing in, and the mom's really happy, and people being real generous with their donations. I've never seen a regional Costco manager smile like that. He walked by us, and he gave us that tacit sort of nod of approval, and we knew that we had done well, and we weren't shut down, so disaster reverted. Anyway, some people were alluding to Brett's storytelling ability here, and I have to attest to that. He was most excellent at it. Many a night we were out together with spouses or girlfriends, or both, and assorted friends and family. Brett could easily be prompted into retelling in vivid detail stories about his performing life back in Australia, often including spot-on accurate accents and regional dialects when necessary. You could almost hear the harp strings, and the lights would dim, and we would all be transported back to some seedy little dinner theater deep down under for the next 20 minutes or so. You could practically taste the beer and tequila, and reach out and touch the koalas and kangaroos when he was done. It was so much fun. And of course, we would always end up playing music on those nights, usually back in my place. And at the end of the night, it was often just Brett, myself, and my girlfriend, Hoi Sin, who was, very fond of Brett also. And we'd make one last request every night of him, for him to sing for us, maybe One More Road, the Frank Sinatra Chestnut. So we put on the backing track, and we have our own personal jukebox. We danced in the living room, and I remember just thinking how special that was to have someone like Brett available to sing for us at a moment's notice. Mm-hmm. And also he was a neighbor, so it was really close. So it was really, really handy. It was too much fun. Of course, we all know that Brett got sick in 2019. I'm not going to dwell or rehash all the details, but Brett fought valiantly and was always positive, even if things were taking their toll on him. When his mom, Lynn, told me that on his last visit from the nurse, she had heard laughter from the bedroom, and she went in to investigate. Brett had put on his Austin Powers wig and his dentures, and was actually performing for the nurse. I laughed when she told me that, as he was born to entertain, and it was only fitting he was performing right up until the end. That was my friend Brett. Finally, this past Christmas, things were not looking good. I found myself playing Amazing Grace, funny enough, on the guitar, almost subconsciously among the usual Yuletide favorites I usually play around every Christmas. I decided in my little home recording studio to make a backing track instrumental version just for my own amusement. I then hatched my evil plan. Apologies, Reverend. Apologies. One day in January, it was just Brett and myself having dinner at my place. I mentioned that I had recorded a track for him to listen to. He, of course, had sung Amazing Grace many times, often at funerals or other solemn occasions. But Brett had not sung in a while, and he was not very confident in his ability to deliver. I eventually cajoled him, or tricked him, into my studio after a series of subtle, sneaky moves on my part. I ran the track for microphone and headphone levels, and Brett started to sing, tentatively at first, but his voice got stronger with each passing verse. We listened back to the take, and we were thrilled. His voice was back. We went and had some dinner, and I suggested another try after we ate. He was up for it, and he nailed it. Mm-hmm. We listened back, and I can tell you right now, we both could feel the emotion and gravity of the situation. And as I said to him, job well done, great take, we basically both broke down a little bit. In a good way, though, as only guys can. And I thought to myself, this just might be the last time. I took a day or two to do a little mix down and prepare some things, and added some fake bagpipes and sprinkled some fairy dust on it and sent the mix to Brett. And Brett was ecstatic, elated. He had had that little bit of confidence back that he could still sing, and that was so important to my friend Brett, as everyone who knows him would know. His music was a huge part of his being. And so we were real excited about that. And I gave him a copy, and we both kind of knew the meaning, the significance of the song. I am now honored to, at Brett's last request to me, to play you that track and accompany him one last time. Mm-hmm. On the stage, or in front of the stage, we often practiced and performed on. Thank you very much for your time.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already found. 'Twas grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I found. Was blind, but now I see. Was blind, but now I see.
That was amazing.
Grace.
Yeah. My heart's going a mile a minute. I wanted to take a moment and say thank you to all of you for being here today. Friends, family, near and far. Thank you for joining us today in celebration of Brett. I'm Cheryl. I was Brett's wife for 20 years. Now, just to let you know, we're about to make a toast. So there's going to be Naveen, Jill, Helen, Nellie coming around to top up your glasses so that they're all charged, ready for our toast. And while they do this, while they do this, I would like to take a moment and share a few thoughts. Thank you, sweetheart. So I've been fairly quiet over the course of this past month. Having to deal with all of the things that need to get done. It's been overwhelming. And I've also struggled to make sense of everything that's happened. I've also been trying to figure out the best way to honor a man that I've known almost half my life. So now it's no secret that Brett and I weren't successful at being husband and wife, but what I am proud of is the fact that we worked hard and succeeded at being partners in life. We were able to put aside our differences, maintain a healthy respect and love for each other, all the while co-parenting our two beautiful children. And I think we did that very successfully. So, how do I honor this man? What photos do I share, Mr. Bryan? All the ones that you sent from Brentley Theatre Restaurant. What words can I say? What quotes can I post? Well, I was struggling with this, and then a dear friend, Yvonne Nunn from Australia, posted on Facebook that when we lose someone we love, we must learn not to live without them, but to live with the love that they've left behind. Wow. I consider myself incredibly lucky because I get to see Brett's face every day through the eyes of my children, our children, through the smiles and through the humor that they both share with their father. And then I think to myself, that's a lot of love, and I can live with that. Then Yvonne posted, memories remind us that nothing lasts forever. And that time is precious and should not be wasted. So we need to enjoy life and remember, don't count the days, but make the days count. And this sort of comes back to what my brother said earlier on about the 3 R's. And at this point, I can't remember except for reflect. I know that there are 2 more. And as my...
There's 3, but who's counting?
Okay. But I'm sure while we take of food, he's going to help you remember. But we need to enjoy life and remember, we don't count the days, but we make the days count. And Brett made every single day count, even after he got sick. The positivity in this man was inspiring. And I firmly believe that because of that positivity, we got to spend more time with him. Yeah. So, time is precious. Time should not be wasted. And I thought about that. And I thought, and I said, that's a brilliant way of being able to honor him. Absolutely brilliant. And you're probably thinking, well, what do you mean? But I think the best way for me to honor Brett is to live my fullest life. To appreciate everyone and everything around me and not take anything for granted, because time is precious and time should not be wasted. So that means I need to tell the people around me how much they mean to me. And and not put it aside because, tomorrow's another day. I need to tell my people now. So I appreciate all of you being here today. I appreciate Brett's Costco family and everything that you gave to him to keep him going and getting up and going to work at 4:15 in the morning. He came because of you. I need to let the Scottish Cultural Centre know how much I appreciate all of you and everything that you did for Brett. Because he just loved coming here. He loved being here. And it was because of all of you. He came for you. And I so appreciate that. He has a massive family. And you've got a lot of aunts and uncles. So I appreciate all of you. When you are walking down the street and you smell a familiar smell that brings back a happy memory, embrace it. When you are walking on the beach and you feel the sand in between your toes, and then you smell that briny sea air, embrace it. When you walk in Stanley Park, enjoying a show at Theatre Under the Stars, as Brett loved to do, and you smell the peppery earthiness of the forest, embrace it and appreciate it. I was going to talk about the community nurse visit, about the laughter and the Austin Powers impersonation, but it was so aptly added, and you did a brilliant job. In the end, despite everything, Brett fought every single day. And it wasn't going to beat him. This cancer wasn't going to beat him. So the best way that I will honor him is living my fullest life and appreciating everything and everyone around me. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for being here today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to welcome to the stage Mr. Shel Piercy, who will do the toast for Brett McMillan.
It's not good to be the last speaker after so many great speakers, just as a note. So I'm here with a certain amount of trepidation, but I'm going to give this a try.
I was great first, Joe.
There's some sort of joy I have, Jerry, in knowing that you want to drink that badly. I've got quite a bit to say, actually. Brett, I thought you were invincible, my friend. In spite of the outcome, I cherished the journey. You are a superstar. It all happened in slow motion, and yet it all happened so fast. But through it all, I admired your strength and great attitude, your willingness to talk, your ability to listen, your compassion for others, your compassion for yourself. You are one of a kind. The world has lost some of its joy, but we know that that joy will one day return. Sadness will transition from a deep and profound emptiness to a rich and comforting memory. And in that way, you live on. At the final hours, a man is judged not by what he has taken, but by what he has given, for the love he leaves behind. Connor, Taylor, Lynn, Shelley, your family here in Canada, your family back in Australia, your many, many, many friends. The memories, the laughter, the stories, the songs, the jokes you regaled us with your impeccable accents, your strong arm, your intelligence, your patience, and your willingness to listen. Together we offer this pledge, all of us here. We will care for and nurture and always remember that and those you leave behind. In your honor, in your memory. Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you to stand and charge your glasses. And borrowing from my good friend Charles Dickens, and with apologies for the slight rewrite, he was as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. He will be missed. Ladies and gentlemen, Brett McMillan.
Here, here. Here.
So ladies and gentlemen, as you enjoy your beverage, we have put together a lovely film clip of Brett singing his signature Frank Sinatra song. I hope you enjoy.
It's 2:45. There's no one in the place except you and me. So set 'em up, Joe. I've got a little story I think you should know. We're drinking, my friend, to the end of a brief episode. Make it one for my baby and one more for the road. I've got the routine, but another nickel in the machine. Feeling so bad, won't you make the music easy and sad? I can tell you a lot, but it's not in a gentleman's code. Make it one for my baby and one more for the road. You'd never know it, but buddy, I'm a kind of poet, and I've got a lot of things I'd like to say. And when I'm gloomy, won't you listen to me till it's talked away? That's how it goes. And Joe, I know you're getting anxious to close. And thanks for the cheer. I hope you didn't mind my band in your ear. But this torch that I found It's gotta be drowned, or it soon might explode. Make it one for my baby, and one more for the road. The long, it's so long, the long and winding road.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings to a close our presentation for the evening for Brett McMillan. I invite you to join us for a bit of supper, a light supper. Tables to be set up so that you can all sit down and share memories, laughs, a bit of a cry, but hopefully more laughs. And thank you so much.
That was absolutely amazing. Thank you. Well, my friend in Bolivia was watching too. So yeah, no, it was just amazing.
We had some panic at the beginning, so I was troubleshooting.
Oh, no, it was amazing. And also, when are you guys open?
The 25th of
So it's
September.
gonna go?
It is,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
They're already selling tickets and everything.
Well, I got mine, but I guess both my friends, they're over there. We have season tickets there.
Nice.
So, yeah, so, but of course, as you're probably aware, the rule of law in my house is I have to go to every opening night and every closing night. So what the heck, anyway.
Got to set the law down somewhere.
You got it. Anyway, thank you very much.
I was gonna. And then when I went out. You absolutely wow. And then she was everything was shut down on her, just started. So she's going all over the place, and I was trying to help her out. So anyway, I didn't call her. I had one job. I didn't call her. So sorry. Sure it is. Well,